Hey guys, so Lord here, back in with another action figure review of a figure I'm 99.98% sure nobody asked for, and that is of course going to be none other than the Marvel Legends Executioner Wave Iron Man Mark 72, if I'm not mistaken, or as I like to call it, the Mystic Armor Iron Man. It is a mystically powered Iron Man armor, which is cool, I guess. But it just looks like another Iron Man armor, and that's boring. Said this, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, and is the figure of the wave that I didn't want to buy. Shocker. That said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Iron Man has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of open hands, which are just that. They do not have the repulsor blast holes. They do have hinges, so you can pop them up, but the repulsor blasts he comes with, which are literally the same consonant repulsor blast we always get. Oh, they do plug in. I didn't know that. I stand corrected, so there you go. You can plug those in. Didn't look like there were holes hollowed out on this thing. That's why I didn't do that before. Huh. Look at that. Would you look at that? He does have repulsor blast holes. What he doesn't have repulsor blast holes on, though, are his little arm cannons. At least I don't think so. These look way too small for that. Yeah, you're not getting those in there. What you could do... This is kind of cheating. You could do this, maybe. If I can get it on there. It doesn't want to go on. Which sucks, because you could almost push this on there and have it sit without the long piece, but that's not happening. Port's too small. Maybe if you heat it, you could probably get it on there, but he does come with two of these. Count them, two, not marshmallows, wrist cannons. And how you swap these on, he's got these little plates here. That in theory you can pop off. Kind of a pain in the nuts, not gonna lie. There you go. Be careful, you could potentially pop the glue on this. But you can take one of these and... Of course they gotta be keyed. So I grabbed the wrong freaking one. And for whatever reason, these are like not nearly as snug as the other ones. They just kind of fall out, so I won't be using those because I don't want to lose the things. It's a cool idea. It's something different for an Iron Man figure, but it's just... I think the thought is better than the execution. Now, as far as the figure goes, he feels super solid, just like Warbo, who we looked at yesterday. He's got decent bicep swivel, that's not super gummy. He's got decent thigh cut, that's not super gummy. And unlike the Enchantress, who we'll look at tomorrow, his double elbow is pretty smooth, but not loose. And his double knee is also pretty smooth, while also not being loose. Funny how they managed to make this a decent figure, and probably nobody cares about him, while the characters that people wanted from this wave, kind of crap. Not gonna lie. That said, as far as the rest of his articulation goes, his head can look up about that far. He's got the double ball peg neck thing going on, so you can get some pretty good tilt. And he can look side to side. And if I pop his noggin off, you can definitely see that the neck gets some range. And you can rotate the neck also. but most people are probably going to want the disc hinge, even though that is archaic at this point. Shoulders can pop out this far. Be mindful of the shoulder pads. You're probably going to need to warp them to pose this guy. I know that this one was a little warped for me for a minute, as was this one due to the way I had him posed, but he seemed to have warped back okay. He does have hinge swivel wrists. He's got the fisticuffs there. You can hinge and swivel. I don't know how tight these are. Not bad. You can actually take them out pretty easy. Getting them back in. It's actually pretty smooth, and they're not loose, so could be worse. You know, I feel like this forearm should have had a twist in it too, but that's just me. Diaphragm joint can actually lean forward a bit. Can lean back a bit. He can rotate. Can tilt side to side. And then, as far as his hips go, if you can get it right, you can actually get that plate up in there. But you have to like rotate this forward and then rotate it back. And then once you get it up there, you can get about that far. I don't know if you can do the whole turn it around trick. You can get him to do a split though. No, you can't. You can't get the armor up in there. So, don't do that. But you can totally finagle the hip to get him to do most of a split and expose Tony's nuts. Sponsor of the channel. Already went over the knees. His feet can hinge back this far. Not bad. This piece is soft, but, you know, you're only going to get so much forward out of that. Maybe if you heat this piece, you could probably get the feet to go a little farther forward, but that's as far as I'm willing to push it. You do get a rocker, though. No, like, ankle twist or boot cut of any kind, but you do get peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So, not a bad figure, just not necessary, at least not for me. If you're building a Hall of Armor, that's nice, but, you know, there are plenty of classic armors we still need, and instead of those, we're getting this guy, and it's like, I would have rather got a different character. I would have rather got another Christar guy, to be honest with you, but Iron Man supposedly sells, supposedly, so I guess that's why they threw him in there. Even though there's a fan channel wave, and those rules don't exactly apply. But with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Mystic Armor Iron Man. That'd make for a good little ditty. A tune, if you will, alongside a couple other figures from this Executioner Build-A-Figure wave. We have the Executioner's boss, when it's not Hela, I suppose, the Enchantress, as well as World War II Logan, we already looked at on the channel, so please check that review out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did. Enchantress will be coming up tomorrow, so please stay tuned for that. But since Iron Man is a dude in a suit, it makes sense that he'd be bigger than these two. I think he's taller anyways. He looks taller. I know Enchantress, A, is an Asgardian, B, has heels, and C, I'm not sure if she's supposed to be like average chick size or slightly bigger than average chick size. Again, I would like to see her on a Power Princess body. I think that would be a little bit better, but that's just me. Getting these two out of the way. Makes sense that Logan is short, though. He's a little teeny guy. Bringing our two regulars, we got the Mythic Legion's brother Mandibilith. His frickin' sword. Get back there, you bugger. As well as the infamous 11 Spawn. And despite the fact that Iron Man is dude in a suit, good old Al Simmons still towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while I can wholeheartedly say that I am 99.98% sure that nobody was asking for Mystic Armor Iron Man to go with their Marvel Legends and or Hall of Armor display, have to be honest in saying that he turned out to be one of the better figures of this wave from a quality standpoint. Along with Warbow, the joints feel pretty decent on this guy. Nothing feels like it's going to break. Granted, Warbow did have a couple of loose joints. This guy, not so much. Maybe a little bit in the ankles, but at the end of the day, he feels solid. From a quality standpoint, he is solid. But unfortunately, it is an Iron Man figure and not a Vengeance / Ghost Rider adjacent character, so therefore I am just indifferent towards it. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, catch you guys later.